I be getting to the money. Everybody mad.
Welcome to another episode of Sophisticated Ignorance. I'm your host, Steven. You guys gotta introduce yourself, or should I just do it?
I'm Nieema.
I'm not Steven.
Wait.
Definitely Vixon. That's crazy.
We got Avi in the building.
Gang.
Back at Dubway
Welcome
Studios.
back.
Jesus Christ.
I thought about bass when you said that, not even the original Welcome Back show.
Yeah, he kind of took that and made that his.
I mean, it's literally the sample from the song.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but we don't even recognize the original
At all.
song. Like,
Did y'all watch Welcome Back Carter when y'all were young? The
No,
answer's no.
I'm not that old.
So,
yeah, nah. Pass.
so why would you?
Why are you making that
think about it?
face?
Like you had a flashback. What is going
Is
on?
everything okay?
Yeah.
I don't
You know
think
why
it
she's
is.
happy? First of all, I know why
Uh-oh.
she's happy. Get into
I'm
your
getting
bag.
involved.
What happened? What
I
What you
don't
mean?
know.
What happened? You know
I
why
don't
you
know.
smiling from ear to ear like the Joker?
I'm really tired. Hold on.
Something happened?
No.
Oh, just keep it rolling. Keep it going.
Too loud.
So yeah, I guess we'll just jump into our ad. Of course, shout out to Scotch Porter, you know, because they're doing great things out here.
They're doing amazing work.
I mean, look at this. You guys will see it on YouTube.
So your face is sponsored by Scott Porter.
My
Scott Porter.
face, my body,
Don't go there.
That's
my
it.
hair,
Yeah, that's it. We don't
my
need to
Like
go
I
beard.
thought.
Just say the face and the hair, fam. That's it.
everything,
All right. The
all
whole body. All right, cool. Great.
Scotch Porter drip.
Good job.
Guys, make sure you use the code SI10, ScotchPorter.com.
Word.
So for this week's episode, we'll get into celebrity worship, which was, I believe, Vixon's idea for this
Another one to
show.
talk.
Look at you. You just out here just doing stuff,
Hey man.
creating content.
Sometimes you just gotta have some in the chamber. You know what I
Ready to go.
mean? Ready to rock and roll.
That's the vibes. That's the
Celebrity
vibes.
worship. Oh baby. There's
Oh,
been a lot of
boy.
celebrities getting some worship in this news cycle this week. Not for the good
Or
reasons.
not. Okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
I don't think
That's
any of
for
them
good
have been
reasons.
positive, and none of them have been for positive reasons.
I mean, it comes in many ways.
Actually, yes, but in a weird way.
Hey, life is strange.
Yeah, this is true. So to start off, like, what does it mean to actually worship a celebrity?
Be on your. Oh no. It's not. No.
Like the Beehive, I guess.
Yeah. No. Standing. It's like
The
standing.
Navy.
Yeah.
The Navy. That's Rihanna.
Name all of them.
That's all I know. The
The
Beehive and the Navy.
You've got who's the fans of oh shit.
Barty Gang.
Yeah, Barty. The Bardys and the Cardis.
Barty Gang.
The
Barbs.
Barbs.
The Barbs and the
The
Carbs.
Navy.
The Barbs and the Carbs. Def.
That's all I know.
Yeah. And then if a male has a hive, if a male has stands, they're usually
The
just
Hoves.
Yeah.
just a hive.
Lady Gaga called her people like the monsters, her little monsters, or something like that. Lady Gaga. Said
Yeah,
it.
the
Oh,
monsters.
Yeah, little
Okay.
monsters.
Sure.
Cause she has that was like her thing for a while, so she called her
No.
fans little monsters.
And
That's
now
all I know.
Now she's regular now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the general public has changed their opinion on Gaga for whatever
I
reason.
mean, she's
They still
many
fuck
things
with her
now.
though. Her movie is nominated for an Oscar, I think.
The Star is Born.
Well,
I didn't watch it, but I guess it's good.
Not sure. It got a nod. That's all that matters.
their award show, I wouldn't be surprised if their people are winning their awards for
What do
their
you mean by
award.
their people?
Yeah.
You know what time it is?
Yeah. So that I don't hold to. All right. But yeah, I mean, basically, like from the whole standing position, like
Yeah.
you mentioned, is like you look at this person as greater than life. Like they could do no wrong. Everything they do gives you life, and shit like that. I think that's what it means to like really worship a celebrity. Like really be on your P's and Q's about every little thing that they do.
Follow their whole life.
Yeah, know their whole story. Fucking defend them to the end.
Like you're a lawyer.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Like, nah, y'all niggas just don't understand.
Word. Y'all out the loop. That's my cousin. That's my sister. Like,
Yeah, I always
That's
found that
weird.
weird.
that's a weird one.
That's my Uncle Ho and my Aunt Beyonce. I don't know what nobody say. That's just how I like to say it. He
What?
seems like an uncle. He gives me uncle vibes. Like the cool
it's
uncle.
it's the hair.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like it. I was thinking about that earlier. Like
I
I
like
like
too.
Ho's
I think
aesthetic now. And
it's-
I was
it's
looking
very-
at old pictures of him, and now, like, I really like this Ho.
Like, he's in his bag. He knows what he knows who he is, and he doesn't
Yeah.
have to like be apologetic. He's unapologetic
I really like it.
because he's seasoned. He's seasoned. That's what he looks like.
I love the hair. I love everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's at a position where he don't gotta give a fuck because it's like, yo, my name speaks for itself.
Right.
This is very
So you
true.
gotta get me as I am.
That is very
I show
true.
the people birthday parties and hoodies.
Facts.
Like,
Because
I ain't gotta dress up.
who's gonna tell me otherwise?
Yeah, but then when you get the breakdown of his his hoodies and shit, be like,
I mean, look.
The price don't mean nothing. It's how you wear it. I'm just
Facts.
like,
True.
I like that a lot.
Cool.
So speaking on Hov, what are some other people that I guess you can consider as idols in that same sort of regard, like people that automatically worship? I think we mentioned a few: Nicki Minaj, Beyonce.
I mean, it doesn't have to be
Michael
just music.
Jackson.
It could be like actors, actresses, like
Let me see about
people in the
actors.
entertainment industry, like Denzel Washington. I mean, that's
Yeah,
probably
Denzel's.
Michael B. Jordan. You're a babe.
Oh yeah.
Me and my sister
oh,
argued
you see
one
that smile? Oh, baby, that's
Idris
automatic.
Elba is another one that people really idolize.
Right.
Trevante Rhodes,
Facts.
another one
I feel like I know that name.
Dude from
from the
Moonlight.
Bird Box
Oh yeah, and Bird Box.
and Moonlight.
You have no idea what we're talking about.
Got you, the dark skin chocolate brother.
Gotcha.
The dark.
Brother. Alright.
The dark skin brother.
Yeah,
indeed.
him.
Well, she's smiling too. Oh baby, she know what time it is.
Please, no
She's
thrusting.
making suggestive moves, but
No
you can't
thrusting
see
in my peripheral. No thrusting in my peripheral.
it. You need a
please.
napkin, sister. You're drooling.
I like Kofi.
Scotch Porter got wipes.
Always a plug. I do
Yeah,
like Kofi.
I mean,
I
so-
love him. He's
but I
Kofi's
mean-
another one.
Yeah, that's all. I
Jesus.
mean, so all those type of people, like people that you find attractive or really talented, all that stuff. Like those are the people that we follow behind because like they do something to us. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like, whether it's like, oh, they're mad sexy, or yo, they're mad talented, or they're inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, since you mentioned that point, would you call that person an idol if you're just looking at them from
Nah.
more of a physical perspective?
sex idol, I guess.
I think it's different.
I don't think I have anybody
Well, then let's
like
define idol then.
worship. Like I don't have anybody like that.
I mean, I'm not saying worship in the literal sense, obviously.
Well, yeah, but
Duh,
you
I don't
know,
have nobody like-
you
I don't
know
have
what I
nobody
mean.
like
Like
that.
you, if they had a hive, you would be part of their hive.
Oh, I used to be part of Chris Brown. Like gang. Like you're not.
Gang.
Oh yeah,
Gang.
we had
What?
those conversations. I'm like, yo,
The
fam, you gotta
breezes?
relax.
You
Gang.
part of the breezes?
That's how I caught on to your type real quick.
Wow.
Everybody, because I had a crush on Chris Brown for so long, even till this day, when I talk to guys I've known from the past, they always bring, oh, you like look like Chris Brown. Like, you're that insecure. He's a celebrity. I have no shot of ever meeting him. I just think he's
Hey, let's not
attractive.
say never.
Hey,
no,
yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
just saying, like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
think he's attractive. I have
'Cause
a
I'll be your manager when he comes
I
around.
have a different slew of men that I've liked that
Slew.
I've dated,
Oh, baby.
and they all don't look alike. So I'm just
Yo,
like,
when
you
you
can't
when you
base
use
that
the
on
word
him.
slew, you got experience, son.
I don't
Okay.
watch what I say on the show too. Like,
Oh, we'll get into that later. We'll get into that later. But yeah, like, I think it's a difference though. If you're looking more so from like a physical perspective, like this person is attractive to me, or that may be like your preference when it comes to dating, or just what you find attractive, I wouldn't consider them an idol. I think idol is somebody that, like a whole, you look at them and the moves that they've made as individuals, whether it's business or personal, and you're like, okay, this is the type of individual I would like to be, or some of the things that they've done in their life is like, oh, okay, I learn from your mistakes so that way I won't repeat those in my own life. So I think that's where you get the difference with for like an idol
Right.
and things of that nature.
And it's kind of like what they were talking about at that event we went to recently, in the sense of like people are looking for like a mentor figure,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it's not necessarily the case where you have to like be under their wing, but you just see what they're doing and you kind of follow that. You know what I'm saying? You copy that.
There's been numerous platforms that you'll have people discuss like, yo, Jay-Z raised me because I had a lack of a father figure at home. Like, his music is what made me who I am. So I think, when it comes to the idol or celebrity worship, I think you look at this individual and you put them to a high regard, and you look at them as like, this is the apex of life, and I would like to emulate that in some sort of facet.
Yeah, definitely.
And speaking on what you were saying, of like not having any idols. I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm the type of person, like, I'm a big believer in duality. So obviously in this day and age, for the most part, you only see the good sides of people or what they want to show you. So I never take that as this is who they are. Chris Brown is an individual that's shown both sides of what kind of person he is. Basically everybody has done something that either was a mistake or regret, things of that nature. So it's like when I look at celebrities or people in any sort of industry, I always look at the aspects that are positive, and I take that as a mental note. Like, okay, like this is important information, and I'll store that. But I'll never hold them to like, oh, this is the person that I should be following from every standpoint. Like, I want to look like them. I want to be in the same field as them. Like, whatever moves that they make, I need to be making the same sort of moves.
There's certain levels to that, because that's not necessarily a bad thing where you necessarily copy what someone's doing, but as long as you're not being a copycat. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between being a copycat and trying to look and fit in an aesthetic to somebody that you look up to, compared to seeing their moves and kind of moving in a similar direction to where it's going to get you a similar type of goal accomplished, or whatever the case may be. So, like, let's say if you have an idol that's into podcasting, like, you're going to see the type of things that they've done in the industry. You're going to try to, either do the same thing or do something similar, not the exact same path.
Use it as inspiration.
But use it as inspiration, use it as some type of experience
like that,
to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
in the beauty industry.
There's nothing wrong with copying somebody. But
there's nothing wrong with it, but I think, because we're talking about celebrity worship, I think what a lot of people do is, because they'll see the positive aspects of somebody or the things that they admire, like, that's it for them. So all the other aspects they just completely ignore, or they'll just defend to the death of it. Like, I just had an example in my head, but I forgot it. But there's, like, they'll just defend, like Kim Kardashian. From the outside thing,
Yikes.
From the outside perspective,
fans blows my shit.
from the outside perspective, it seems positive.
They have
like she's entrepreneur, business, making money, has a family, things of that nature. But when you really look at the shit, it's, the fetishizing of black men, and stepping into having opinions being outside of our culture and things like that. And the people like that worship those people, they'll defend anything that she says and completely ignore the facts. So I think that's where it kind of gets in somewhat of a gray area.
But they treat it very like a buffet. You know what I'm saying? It's very a la carte. Like, you choose the good qualities of this person that you admire, and then all the trash shit you kind of just toss it aside, because everyone makes mistakes, which is so convenient these days, because we use that term so often. You know what I'm saying?
But it won't even be like they won't even acknowledge the mistake. It's like, oh, y'all just don't understand. Y'all just a hater.
Right.
It's like, no, this is fucking blatantly wrong.
Right. This is a trash thing that this person has done.
But the Kardashian West people and the Jenners, they have like Stepford fans. Like, they have people who legit want to look exactly like them. They want to have the same exact type of family. Like, I'm a Latina, or I'm white, and I want to look like her, and I want to dress like her, and I want my hair like her, and I want a dark-skinned man like her, and I want kids to look like that. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
I was just going to say that. I won't say it's a large, but there is a percentage of Hispanic women that emulate that look 1,000%.
I mean,
and to the T of the straight hair, the glam, the glam look, no matter where the fuck she's going. She could be going in the fucking bodega and she got a pound of makeup on, and she has to have a dark-skinned black man as her partner.
Kim's look is not that hard to copy. It's really not.
It's really not, but still, people that's their apex for them. It's like, that's who they want to be. They want to be I want to be this beauty individual that has all this, what's the word I'm looking for? That has all this impact on other people, and I have this dark-skinned man, and we're gonna have mixed babies, and I'm gonna be in heels. I never wear sneakers, and all this other wild shit. And it's like, yo, fam, who the fuck are you? Like,
well, I mean,
like, who are you as an individual?
Outside of Kim, that's like every Instagram's, model celebrity.
Yeah, they either look like Kim or they look like Kylie.
Exactly. Take a pick.
And the crazy part is that they chop their body up and they wear their makeup to look like Latinas or ethnic women. Like, Kylie looks like a whole chick from Dykeman right now.
It's called
accurate.
blackfishing.
Well,
That's
all
another
right.
episode.
But then if you bring that shit up to them, then it's like, oh nah, y'all just a hater. This is that and the
I've been doing
third.
this shit first.
I can't bring it up because I'm black. I'm a black woman. I'm a
Excuse
hater
me?
because I'm jealous because different ethnicities
Mm-hmm.
date black men.
You're darker.
Yeah, and so, because of that, I'm jealous of them because of black men over me.
Allegedly.
Which is, allegedly. I think that's the only thing they could possibly go with right now. I had a whole argument. Well, she argued with herself. Cause I told
It's like
her,
that Spider-Man meme.
It's like, you're arguing. Because I told her simply, I was like, listen, every time I turn around, you talking shit when you're pregnant, so have your baby and pull up.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Drop your baby, then pull up with that same exact energy.
Drop her baby where?
Have the baby, leave it in the hospital, and pull up if that's how you
That's
really
not
feel.
that's not how babies work. That's just not how
Listen.
babies work, but go on.
Let your king hold the baby down while you get your ass whooped.
Let your
You feel
kid
me?
get the baby.
But you looking real brazy.
Wow.
And
All
I
right.
was just
That's a
like,
visual.
I don't understand.
Oh man,
I don't understand. And then
that
you know
was
what?
great.
I blame a lot of the. I'm going off topic. I blame a lot of the black men who don't check these women.
No, it's on topic.
And make them feel like they're better than the black woman when you
Mhm.
came out of a black woman. Like I don't understand
I was just
that,
having this
that
conversation.
concept. Like how do you allow her to talk about your people, your culture like that? Like, and it's okay, and you laugh and you think it's cute. So I hope you have that same energy when you gotta pick Shorty up after she get beat up.
And her bundles.
And because they don't even wear bundles no more. They wear clip-ins. Because bitches don't even wear bundles. They wear clip-ins. So.
I was just having this conversation at work yesterday. And we was talking about interracial dating. And I was telling them, like, I guess it's like this big issue, but I said it's very fucking simple.
Mm-hmm.
Black women do not have an issue with black men dating outside of their race.
We don't care.
Black women have an issue with black men who date outside their race and belittle black women while they do so.
Right.
It's very
That's very simple.
That's all it
Because
is.
I don't care.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You
Nobody
date
cares.
whoever the fuck you
It
want to
shouldn't go
date.
hand in hand.
You love whoever you love. But when you date outside your race and then you belittle the same people, then it becomes a fucking problem.
Right.
Because not only are you being disrespectful to your own kind, you're empowering this other person that's outside of our culture to have a commentary and empower them to, feel as though they're better than
Mm-hmm.
anybody else. It's like, y'all do the same shit. I see this shit all the time. It's like, oh, I only date Hispanic women because they do X, Y, and Z. And the X, Y, and Z is shit that any fucking woman that has an operating brain can do. So it's like, I don't know. Everybody's just dumb. Pretty much. Pretty much. But, that being said.
I do fake worship makeup Shayla though. On Instagram. I don't worship
Fake
her.
worship?
Yeah.
What is fake worship?
I don't know. I like to say fake before everything all the time now. But
That's the thing.
I think her. I said for me.
Okay.
I like her aesthetic. I've always liked her aesthetic. She's like a brown girl. She's thick. She works out. She dresses. The way she dresses, I enjoy it. It's
Mhm.
never too over the top, but it's like just the right amount. She has a nice face. I just really admire her.
I think that's
admire.
a
Ooh,
healthy
good word. Admire.
Yeah, I
I
think that's a
admire her.
healthy sort of worship because if you're looking at, because for anybody else that doesn't know you as a black woman, they'll just look at it as like, oh, curvy girl, she in the makeup industry, she look pretty.
Right.
But for somebody of your tone and of your size, when you see somebody on that sort of pedestal, I guess inspires you or
Yeah.
empowers you to be like, look,
Absolutely.
I could be a strong and confident black and voluptuous woman as well. So that's healthy. Now, if she was to start wilding out, be like, nah, I only date white men and black niggas because this, that, and the third, and you still was defending her, then it was like, all right, now I need a new co-host.
Right. Now you need a new brain. Because, I mean, as I said, admiring is a good word. And I think a lot of people take admiring to the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To where they admire this person. Now, let's say if they do say something out of character or whatever, then they defend them to the end and they don't operate on their own thoughts. It's okay to admire someone and, like, look up to them in a way. But then when you start losing your own, like, self in that process, that's where it gets dangerous.
I don't think that is a direct result of we're the first generation of individuals that's growing up with technology. So you have a lot of people that are literally growing up through social media and just technology in general. So they're not even getting a chance to really define who they are. Like
Yeah, and enjoy
they're not enjoying their childhood. They're not really exploring and doing shit. They're growing up constantly being on the phone and seeing what other people are doing. It's like, oh, okay. And then we're attaching, like, this is kind of the conversation they was talking about at the event at my job, was like, they're attaching follower count and likes to something that's substantial. So it's like, if this equates to likes and followers, then I'm going to do the same shit too. And at the end of the day, that same shit may not even be something that you thoroughly enjoy. So now you're looking at this person, like, instead of admiring them, now you're worshiping them. Because now it's like, okay, if this is who they are and they've reached the apex in life in this aspect, then I have to be everything. I have to follow that in every facet. And regardless whether it's good or bad or indifferent, I'm just going to rock with it because this is all I know. And they don't even, there's a lot of lost people on social media. Like, I be telling, like, there's people I know that I follow, and I be, you know, trying to put the bug in their ear, but like, yo, you should, like, kind of start your own business or things. It mainly be women. Because I would see, like, they'll post, like, some regular shit. Like, they're not even really in the beauty industry, but they'll, like, oh, this is the kind of products I use because it helps me with this, that, and the third. If anybody has questions or whatever, feel free to, you know, drop questions. And I'll, you know, be in there and be like, yo, you should, like, start a blog or start a YouTube or something. You know, you could capitalize off of this because there are, I've seen it a million times of people reaching out to, not even people with a large social media following, just because they look at them at a certain status, they'll hold everything to a high regard. Like, I seen people asking strangers for relationship help, beauty help, family issues, and I'm like, yo, there's really a large amount of people that's lost on social media or lost in general, and they have nobody to ask any sort of questions or really identify who they are as individuals.
But then that's the catch-22, because if anything, if depending on the type of influence and stuff that you have, you could become the person that somebody looks up to. You know what I'm saying? And how do you kind of handle that type of influence? How do you handle that type of, I mean, I don't want to say pressure, but I mean, it's different when you're looking up to somebody, when somebody's looking up to you. Now you got to, like, act accordingly in a way.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I think
I have no one that looks up to me.
No, I feel like with me
Well, I don't think
going
so.
through this surgery and then expanding my knowledge and, you know, my talents in the beauty industry, I get a lot of questions asked all the time. And people are like, oh my God, you inspired me. I have people who just had surgery and they like DMing me, and people from Canada, what's happening? And I'm just like,
How does that make you feel then?
it's uncomfortable. And it's especially when I'm at work and clients see me. I don't like people to make a big deal out of something. Like, pull me to the side, like, hey, girl, you look good.
Mhm.
They'll be like, oh, bitch, yes, mad loud, because now I'm like, everybody looking at me. They know
triggers
something's
your
happening.
Relax.
your anxiety.
Like,
Right, because my anxiety kicking. I'm
Right.
like,
Now you gotta relax.
"Ooh, yeah. So sometimes I enjoy it. You know, some people come to me like, oh, you inspired me to do this. And, you know, a lot of my friends have gone back to school because they finally decided, like, well, I'm good at hair, so I might as well get my license. And it's like, hell yeah, get your fucking license and get money. So when it's things like that, I like it. But I'm still I put it on Instagram, like, I'm still getting used to being this new person that I'm becoming. So don't think I'm being standoffish, but it's still a little uncomfortable because when I look in the mirror, I see the person y'all see, but in my head, I'm still the old me. So it's like I have to get,
Yeah.
I'm
That
transitioning
Same.
with everybody else.
Def same.
So it's sometimes it's like, oh, this is weird. Hey, girl, what's up?
Yeah, I could see, yeah, because it's weird for me also in the few instances I've gotten that, like, people would say I inspired them to a certain aspect, and I'm such a fucking perfectionist in my own mind, and I hold myself to such a high regard in terms of what I want to do and what I want to create. When I hear people's like, oh, you inspire me to do this and inspire me to do that, I see you and doing A, B, and C, it's like, I haven't done nothing yet, in my personal opinion.
I like being shambles when I be at home.
You
like,
yelled
"Bitch,
at me.
what?"
You yelled at me at well, not yelled. It was playful, but you screamed at me when we was doing that episode with T, and her husband was like, "Yo, I'm proud of you," and like that's my homeboy. We pretty much grew up together, but it's like, in my head, it's like I'm not even. I won't say I'm not proud of myself, but it's like I have so much shit I want to accomplish.
Right.
So it's like I don't deserve any sort of acclaim. in my mind. It's like I don't deserve any sort of acclaim because I haven't done shit yet.
And then for me, it'd be like, do you know all the bullshit I'm dealing with right now? I'm happy to inspire you, but
Yeah, it's like I'm
I like 5 different shambles I'm trying to piece together right now in my head.
yeah,
on
like
my
I'm
way
still
home.
my checklist of shit that I'm trying to do is still I'm still on like check 1 and 2.
But we gotta kinder to ourselves.
Right.
You know what
That
I'm saying?
is
Because
Yeah.
we've accomplished a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just with the, like even just looking at this podcast itself, or just anything outside of that, like our own individual lives, like we've accomplished a lot. And I have to get used to like thinking. It's not even a matter of like a perfectionist type thing, but it's like really looking back and saying like, yo, I did that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we focus so much on the shit that we haven't accomplished, and we don't focus enough on the shit that we actually have accomplished.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? And I think especially when it comes to just tying it back to the topic, when it comes to celebrities and we see them like accomplishing these things and reaching their goals and doing all these things, we admire that because that's the type of stuff that we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we never see these celebrities. These celebrities never really put themselves in a light where it's like we see their fails. You know what I'm saying? So where, I mean, even though that would make it more relatable, you know what I'm saying, or even though that would make them more relatable, we only see their wins. So then it's like a weird balance because like we root for them, like yo, they did that shit, yay, but at the same time it's like yo, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was definitely me when social media first started to get popping. Was like I kept comparing myself to other people and trying to determine like what is it that I have to change in order to not even reach that same sort of status, but have that same sort of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that I had to learn to like let go. It's like, look,
You
that's
don't
why
really
I be
want-
like I can only do what I can do, and the universe is just gonna play everything out. Like I know at times I like kind of somewhat preach on Instagram or just preach in general, but because the reason why I do that is because at the end of the day, like life is fucking difficult in general, and I think a lot of people don't grasp that concept. And happiness and peace of mind is something that is absolutely priceless.
Mhm.
And even if it's just like whether nobody sees it, 5 people see it, 20, 30, 100, maybe that one little comment or caption I made made somebody look at things a little bit differently. And you know, like I said, like some people may put us on a pedestal. It's like, okay, if this person is saying like, yo, just focus on your own truths and you know, have your own goals and really identify what makes you happy, then I did something right in that aspect. Which a lot of people, you know, that you would hold to a high regard, probably don't usually do the same thing. Or they usually give you the speech after they've won.
Mhm.
Which is also like a false prophet, because they love giving you speeches after they have accomplished all this other extra shit, and love telling you like, oh, you could do X, Y, and Z, but it's like, yeah, we could do X, Y, and Z, but your situation is completely different than my situation.
And then once again, no one's necessarily going to share their fails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you're only going to see people. You're only going to see people at their best when.
And they don't even tell you exactly how they won either.
No.
They'll tell you, oh, I was grinding and doing A, B, and C. Yeah, I was putting in mad work.
Those on they city girl shit.
Yeah, I was putting in mad work, and then mind you, they definitely had some handouts here and there, or somebody was definitely making sure they succeeded to a certain.
Mhm.
It's like people don't even be telling how they truly won.
That's why I try to be as transparent enough on, especially on social media and stuff like that. When people ask me certain questions, I'm like, sis, I ain't got the motherfucking answers. I don't have none of them.
Some people like that shit.
Yeah,
like that real shit.
they like. I think they like that.
I think that's why.
in the transparency.
That's why people
That love
idolize
Cardi.
Cardi. I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like she comes off mad authentic and mad real. You know what I'm saying? And you know people latch onto that because it's like, alright, she's not perfect, she's not polished,
And
she's
we
not
know
whatever.
her, and the most important thing, we know her story. She
Right.
didn't tell it to us.
Right. We saw it unfold.
Yeah.
Right.
We know literally where she came from.
So like her wins come off a little bit more like that whole thing, like yo, that's my cousin, that's my sis, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I know somebody like her, or like I can relate
Yeah.
to her.
As opposed to her, well, I won't say counterpart, but her, I guess,
Husband.
no, as opposed to
Yeah.
Miss Minaj.
Well, I wouldn't even say that's her counterpart. To be honest, they're on 2 different levels.
I won't say they're on two different. They're on two different levels now, based off of what Nicki has done in the past
Right, because
year,
Nicki,
2
Nicki
years.
has accomplished a lot of shit too, and everybody. I mean, that whole pinning Cardi and Nicki shit, that's just bullshit in itself. But like,
Well, that's the industry.
right,
That's just how the industry
that's
works.
Industry, yeah, of course, that's the industry 101. But I'm saying outside, like if you just remove Cardi from the situation or that equation, Nicki has accomplished a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And she should
Yeah,
get her
but what
flowers.
she has lacked is that transparency. It was literally, the people remember. I mean, my Nicki knowledge is minimal.
I was
But-
a Nicki fan from 08.
Yeah, but most people remember her rapping on the street in Queens.
Right.
I
Then
remember going to see her like in this little club,
yeah.
standing up.
Then she
hype.
blew. Then she blew up. But since she's blown up, it's been like she's been this superstar status
the whole time.
the whole
Well,
time,
you can say
and
it's
never gotten that peak of who she is really.
I feel like because
And now,
she,
now that she has this competition with Cardi, now we're starting to see who she really is, and then people are not fucking liking it.
But I feel like because the industry has changed between now, with social media
Right.
and being a quote unquote socialite, is a good thing compared to growing up in the industry and they have to groom you a specific way. She was groomed a specific
Right.
way.
The
That's
industry
why
changes
she.
you, for real.
Yeah, so then
Mhm.
that's why it's more. We and other rappers have said it too. Like they don't want you to really have a baby. You can't really say you're in a relationship because you have to seem like you're single. Like
Right.
all these different guidelines. Whereas now, if Cardi B is popular from social media, like
Mhm.
let's just be honest with that. That's how
Of
she
course.
became.
Yeah,
hot.
yeah, yeah.
She was a social media star, or whatever the case may be. So her transition was a whole lot different because now social
Yeah,
media
of
does
course.
everything.
Absolutely.
So it's okay for her to be who she is. But if Cardi was who she is back when Nicki came out, that would not have been allowed. Like, let's just be honest about that. It wouldn't have been. They
Yeah,
would have
no,
totally
yeah,
made her
yeah.
calm that down.
I
It's-
think
yeah,
So
it's
now that
different.
it's okay, Nicki's like, okay, well, if it's okay now, maybe I should be a little bit more open about what's going on in my life because she wasn't allowed to do that before. And now she's older, so now it's like, what the fuck? Now she's kind of lost. I feel like she's lost and she really don't know.
Yeah,
which
that's
way to
that.
go
That's what I was
necessarily.
about to say. Is like that's the issue now. It's like okay, now you've seen how the landscape has changed. Now you need to change,
Right.
but it looks
But
like
it's
she
not
hasn't.
necessarily to her fault. It's just
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way
it's
the
not her
industry
fault.
groomed her.
Yeah, it's not her
Right,
fault,
right.
but it just looks bad because now, not only have you not changed, now we're starting to see you act out of character.
I feel like she went backwards.
Yeah,
I'm like, you went past you passed this stage already. Like when she
Yeah.
was in Meek, it was like softer. She was an adult. She was a woman. Like I was feeling that.
Right.
Now I feel like you're going back.
yeah.
You're
Because
going back to
somebody
Nicki
had said something.
2011.
Yeah, somebody has said something like that on Twitter, and that opened my eyes. It was like she's about to be 40, and she's like half naked doing videos with Tekashi. Like
Yeah,
I mean,
like you went backwards.
that's
I mean, yeah, all right. That particular look is not ideal, but her being half naked has nothing to do
There's
with
nothing to do with
age.
it. Bernice
Like,
and the rest of them bitches be half naked,
Right.
and y'all don't say nothing about them.
exactly.
Bernice
they
is
do.
past 40,
So-
They
but
do.
y'all
Yeah,
still be
that-
liking her picture.
That has nothing. Her age
Oh,
has
yeah.
nothing to do with her personality, like
Yeah.
that. In that regard, you know what I'm saying? Because niggas over 40 and they do wild shit. So
Yeah, yeah. But it's just the whole grand scheme
scheme
of
of things.
it's like
It looks weird.
I
Yeah, it
it's-
just looks
it's-
weird.
Look, mad people are doing weird shit in the industry.
Yeah.
End of the day, it's like that's the industry for what it is. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna say because you guys were touching earlier about just the fact of transparency. Some people would say that Jay and Bay haven't been transparent like that. I mean, even though you've kind of seen their careers, like, you know, from their beginning to now, but like their lives have been very, like,
Close off.
closed off until they tell you.
What's
You know what's going on.
But I like that. They still keep it.
Well, see,
I enjoy it
and
because
so
they
there's a
still
balance
keeping it.
now.
They keep it as if social media is not here. Because when we were growing up, we didn't have social media like that. So you kind of enjoyed being able to go see your favorite celebrity and get your CD signed or go to the concert. That's the only time you're going to see them. Either they're on a talk show, award show, or you're going to the concert, or they're going to be at one
Yeah.
of those record stores back
that's
in the day
why they
selling
could
CDs.
that's why they could charge out their ass for the fucking tickets because
Right.
you ain't gonna see them until
Until then.
Blue says they could leave the house.
So I enjoy the aesthetic of Beyonce still being some kind of mystery because it still makes you feel like you know just a little bit about
It's
them, but
the
you
allure.
still don't know. Yeah, it's the allure of them.
So
And then
Compared
Jay,
to just
It comes down to
some
access
celebrities
then.
telling you. Sometimes I get tired of seeing the celebrities 50 times on my timeline. Like, why are you posting just as much as a regular person all the time? I get excited when Beyonce posts a picture and then I don't see that bitch for like a whole 2 weeks to a month, 6 months. So now when she comes, it's going to be something elite. And then when she posts with Jay, I'm
And-
like, oh, Jay's in the picture this time? Double the fun. Like, I get excited.
Well, there you go.
I could imagine them too just acting up.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
enjoy
Can you
it.
imagine?
But
Yeah, go on.
I just slightly disagree with that because Jay has said that numerous times. Like, we look at him as like this huge figure that we have no idea what he's doing on a day to day. If you listen to his music, he's telling you exactly what he's doing.
I mean, yeah, all right. Listen to the music. Of course.
Yeah,
if you're a
but
fan
But
of
he's
music,
not,
listen to
and then
music.
he's fucking 50 years old.
All right, so
Like, how many 50-year-olds are you following on social media?
I definitely follow Will Smith. I follow
Will Smith is
Oprah,
mad out there. Mad
And
out
Will
there.
Smith just now got on Instagram.
and it's the best thing that ever happened.
Son, in a
And
month he's been lit.
Lit.
Come on, bro.
What?
And now he's
But
about-
his Instagram is completely he's not doing Instagram like us peons. Like,
yeah, he's
he's
reinvented the app.
yeah, basically. But
But yeah, I mean, well, what I was saying, just in the sense of like the comparison between like Jay and Beyonce compared to a Cardi, like there's two different levels of accessibility there. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of relate to that in two very different ways. You know what I'm saying? We like Jay and Bey because they're exclusive and they're not,
Always
they're
in
not
your face.
all in your face. You know what I'm saying? And we like, whenever they do engage with
It's
us
an aesthetic.
lower ones,
It's
you know what I'm saying? It's a
something about
mood,
it.
it's a vibe, it's dope.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Beyonce could drop an album out of nowhere and we accept the shit. If somebody else does that shit, like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody else could do that type of stuff. In the opposite end of the spectrum, like a Cardi B, where like she'd be on Instagram talking, even if it's messy or whatever the case would be, we somewhat like that too because it's like, she's for the people, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? She's like kind of in the trenches with the rest of us in a sense. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
because
saying? Even if
she's
she has
always
that
been more
celebrity status.
relatable to
Right.
the general
So
public.
it's just interesting how we idolize these people in different ways.
And then there's definitely business aspects of it as well. Like they know what their brand is and they know who their demographic is. So they're gonna move accordingly. Like never gonna see Hove on fucking Instagram because he don't need it.
You probably don't know how to use it.
He probably don't. I
Don't
wouldn't
talk
be
about Uncle Jay
surprised.
like that. He knows how to use it.
Idolizing. See? There you go.
He probably wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised. He don't keep Twitter on his phone. He says anytime he tweets and then he deletes it.
That's weird. I know people that do that too.
He needs space
I
on
know-
his phone.
Like
I
I remember the last time. I think the last time he tweeted was like 2 years ago, and he
then
fucked
he
up.
recently tweeted.
And he fucked up, and he was like, "Yo, how do I make a thread?"
See, I told if he can't use Twitter, fam, he ain't.
But
use
it's Hove, so it's like you're not supposed to use Twitter.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
And there
not
you
that
go.
person. And then again, like I said, we and they did not grow up in the era where having to be on social media was a thing.
exactly.
I don't have a fucking Twitter.
But we had.
So give me Twitter and ask me how to use it. I'll probably be like, "Hov, like
but mind
how?"
you, we had idols before social media was a thing. Like we.
I'm not saying we didn't.
But
I'm
those
talking about
idols-
the accessibility. Like
but
we
those
didn't
idols
No,
were-
of course,
yeah.
accessibility. Yeah, that's a big difference. What I'm saying, even before that accessibility, we had idols that were kind of in a sense of exclusivity because the only time, like Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
huge example.
Yep.
Before social media, the only time you get to see him is a concert, or
Award
appearance,
shows.
or award shows, or something. Like he was the ultimate pinnacle idol figure. You know what I'm saying? And this was and he was somewhat private himself. He was completely private. You know what I'm saying? But people idolize him because of his work, because of his music, because of what he's done. So it's not even a matter of accessibility at that point. It's a matter of your impact. It's a matter of what you've done, how you've changed the culture, how you've changed the landscape. You know what I'm saying? And we can see that with Jay and Bey because of their contributions and what they've done outside of the music. You know what I'm saying? So that's another level of idolizing in a sense because there's proof, there's evidence.
It's an attachment level.
I just want to know what app she uses for her Instagram pictures. Honestly.
She probably uses it for Photoshop. Probably there's definitely
Shit.
somebody that's
Shit is
Photoshop.
There's a
Fire.
graphic designer that is
Yeah.
That
On
shit is
hand.
fire.
Yeah.
I know
or the
they got
God
the
app.
cheaper
I don't know
version.
which one.
Because I know the guy that does all the Diddy crops.
Right. I forgot about the Diddy cropping thing.
That shit should get trademarked. Diddy Crop. Definitely trademarked. If anybody else
That was
uses it, you
definitely.
get
I wouldn't be
That was
surprised.
a funny month.
I wouldn't be.
Funny about it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it already isn't trademarked.
Well,
You probably might get served the notice. I'm saying
I'll
it
be
numerous
served gladly.
Don't
Sue by Diddy? Oh,
I already
baby.
got jury duty. I don't need no.
Jesus Christ.
When I can't even get out of it now, I post one too many times.
Good
now I gotta
job.
pull up.
Jesus.
You better change your hairstyle.
Well, how did I have my hair down there? I don't remember.
You have plead insanity or something.
Now you're a brand new person. New wig, new you.
Annoying.
Where are we on this? We kind of like jumped all over the place with this.
When does idol worship go wrong? Did we kind of talk about that?
I guess the Kim Kardashian thing would probably be the clear example.
Idol
It's
worship
like
going wrong.
it's
Plastic
when you-
surgery.
Kim.
You ever saw Botched? Where the man cut his face up so he could look like Justin Bieber?
Yikes.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I think those people
Yeah.
have some sort of like, I guess you could say
Body
mental,
problem.
some sort of mental disability, like suffering
It's a
through.
disability.
Now it's Face Off. Good
Like
job.
you dealing
That was a
with.
good movie. I'm gonna watch
Yeah,
that.
that was a good movie. Like they're dealing with some sort of like mental health issue, with whether it's depression, low self-esteem. So they hold these people to such a high regard. They're gonna do whatever it is to look like this. You could call who said that? I think it was you. Blackfacing might be a form.
When you're idolizing a whole ass race.
Yeah.
The lady who's getting melanin needles. Now she's a black
What?
woman with coarse hair.
Wait,
Like,
who?
oh, Jesus
I'm gonna sing out a
Christ.
link. It's this
No,
woman.
please, not.
Not the
She's
one, not the
not-
one of those fake ass plastic boobs. Not her.
She does have big boobs, but she was getting melanin shots to make herself darker, and
Where was
somehow it
this?
changed the texture of her hair. She's not in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I think I know what you're talking about. She's
Yeah, I
like,
think-
Because
she
I
looks
remember,
like beef jerky.
yeah, I remember when
she
they first,
got hair like a mop.
yeah, I
and she
remember when
got
she first started
these
talking
big
about it. I
ass,
was just like,
I think I know who y'all talking about.
Volleyball boobs.
She's from like Switzerland or
yeah,
Germany.
She's one of them
Yeah.
places. Yeah,
Yeah.
And she got a
Yeah.
white husband or some shit.
yeah.
Or no, I think the husband is doing the same shit too. I don't know.
I don't know, but
They all
she
look like
said that
clowns.
it
Wild
wasn't her
times.
trying to be, more ethnic or anything. She just likes the skin tone. It's weird. Very Silent to the Lambs. But okay.
That's
Not for nothing. That's
Leatherface
very white people-ish.
Sounds about right, indeed.
Yeah.
That us.
Cause I remember I seen some article where this guy said he liked Filipino food so much that he wanted to be
Filipino.
I
Filipino.
remember that. That was a couple of months ago.
You are what you
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
Is that
So
the
he
case?
like
He
started
adopted
studying
the
the
culture,
yeah. He
he
started
started-
yeah.
That's when the whole transcultural thing popped up. We was laughing at that at work.
Transcultural
Yeah.
or transracial or some shit.
Yeah.
Look,
I
I like
got
Chinese
that.
food more than the next person, but fam, you ain't about to see me
Right, with the little...
bleaching. Don't. Don't do that.
The Karen seen it though.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm gonna-
Next topic. I saw what you're doing. I was like, yo, don't do that, son, don't do it. And you did it. Oh, baby.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, when it goes wrong is when you completely ignore the truth from it. Like you just only
Lose sight
see
of reality.
you see whatever is given to you and you make your own, I guess, reality from it. Like no matter how wrong, indifferent, blatant shit is, it's like same R. Kelly situation. There's still older women that
What would
fucking
you call his fans?
pathetic.
Dumb because he definitely just got indicted for like 10 counts. So guess what? If he going to jail, y'all going to jail right with him. Now the whole cell is filled up.
But yeah,
Don't
there's
go
definitely
follow
a large amount of older women that still feel like, oh, the girls knew what they was getting into and this, that, and the third. Is like, no, that nigga's fucking nasty. Thank God we finally got those counts
The
on
only
him.
reason why they feel that way is because they probably got smashed by some 40-year-old guy at the time when they were listening to his songs. And that's the most
Yeah.
action they probably got. So now he represents their best life.
It's still weird. It's still
That's
nasty.
weird as fuck.
It's still nasty.
Aunties, just stop. All y'all aunties, just stop.
Thank God ain't nobody I know.
Yikes.
So, is it more the message or the messenger that should be idolized?
I'll leave that to you.
The message.
Why?
Because people be
And you're wrong.
people
Next.
be
No,
living
no.
lives. People be living, double lives and shit. So just because Steven says something that's very inspirational, he could be a total dirtbag behind the scenes. That's how I
Case
took it.
and oh no, sorry. Continue.
That's how I
didn't mean
took
to
it.
cut you off. Case in point, Charlemagne, right? So
Mm.
I bought his first book and I read it, and the book is really good. But
Mhm.
every time I've like shared the fact that I've read the book, people are like, "Yo, you reading that trash? Like you supporting this nigga?" Like, and I was like, "Whoa, I am not a fan of like." I might follow the dude on Instagram, but I'm not supporting him in the sense of like that. But then I realized by buying his book, it's just
You're
It's
level
supporting.
of
him.
supporting him. So it's like, sorry, I didn't mean to support this guy that has been accused of rape and all these things. But at the same time, reading his book, like the gems in there are good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I'm not defending him. I would never defend all the bullshit that he's done because
Allegedly.
even in his book, in his book he said the shit that he's done, like word for word. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm not I'm reading the good shit that he's talking about. I'm reading the fucked up shit. It's like, yo, this guy's fucking dirt. You know what I'm saying? Just trash. You know what I'm saying? But he also was saying some things that were actually inspirational and inspiring and motivating. And it's like, well, how do I even feel
Yeah.
about this?
I
Because
think
it's like-
No, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I even feel? Because it's like, he's dropping gems, but him as a person has fucked up and made mistakes. But, I mean, there were more than just mistakes, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, so I have to recognize that, you know, a broken clock, you know,
Is
is
right
right
twice a day.
twice a day, you know what I'm saying? And kind of separate him from the message, which is kind of like how people do R. Kelly, that separate him from the music. And
Or
it's,
Kanye.
yeah. And it's, I mean, it's
Yeah,
great, but
it's almost kind of
you
like
gotta put your
that.
foot in the stand.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like what we were discussing last week with, you know, everything kind of somewhat circumstantial. Because it's like, sometimes if you aren't, well, I won't say aren't intelligent enough, but if you aren't aware of certain things, then even what's being displayed is not necessarily a bad thing. But in the grand scheme of things, it could be a negative. Like the Kim Kardashian situation. The fact that she's married to a black man is not an issue. But what it has done to society is an issue. Not necessarily has she ever said anything about black people that's wrong or done anything to black people that's wrong. No.
Well, Ray J. So, there's that was pretty wrong.
He said he did it first, so
I mean, he did. That's facts. That's Black
Yeah.
History facts.
That shit did go. That shit did. That shit was a.
That shit was kind
fire.
of.
It was fire.
I mean, for the time, yes.
I would probably still play that.
Just for nostalgic reasons.
Yeah, that shit
Just
still
for a
goes.
throwback, though.
Yep.
But yeah, from like a grand scheme of things, is she necessarily doing anything wrong? No. Is the message underneath of it kind of fucked up?
The undertone of the shit she
Yeah. So it's like it's kind of circumstantial. So you can't really. It all depends on what they're kind of displaying, how they're saying it, and even sometimes how they say it. They may say it in a clean way, but if you are aware of what they're saying, it's like, okay, this is kind of fucked up in a certain sense. Like I think it was like an ASAP Rocky interview from years ago, and he was saying towards the lines of like, we need to stop, you know, calling women whores and things of that nature. And I was like, yes, that's a good point, but probably the reason you're only saying that is because you just want to sleep around and women that will probably just say no to you because of the stigma of the term whore or hoe.
Right.
They're avoiding that.
But he say bitch.
See?
Well, hold
But
on,
at the
Cybercrip.
time, you take that little. That's a point that needs to be made. When you take that little soundbite from social media, people just take that and run with it, and don't really look at things from the whole context.
And I could have sworn he said something about how he don't like dark skinned women who wear red lipstick or some shit like that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's
You know,
not.
they
You
light
he's-
skin
can't
on
he's-
white
take shit like
chicks.
that out of context. Like that's word for
Yeah.
word. You know,
Like,
like
then you see his
And
type,
then-
you be like, well.
And then at the other time, and then more so recently, he was talking about, oh, if he was in a position to date somebody like Janelle Monáe, he would have to be a better individual because of the type of woman she is and
what
things
does
of that
even
nature.
mean?
Because he knows he's a dirtbag.
All right. Well, as long as he could acknowledge that he's
Well,
trash.
then after that,
I
if
guess so.
ASAP asks you out on a date, you better say no.
Well,
Because he don't think that much of you.
there you
But
go.
I remember when that clip was going around and he was like, we really need to get, you know, devalue the term hoe and whore and things of that nature. If a woman wants to sleep with whoever she wants to sleep with, that should be it. Yeah, but somebody in your status
Right.
probably is going around, there's men in general, regardless of status, that's just going around wanting to just sleep with mass women. So I read in between the lines. For general public, they're like, oh, okay, that's something we could get behind. We support that. But I read between the lines, like, there's a reason why you're saying this.
And that part, that whole reading in between the lines and actually listening to what people are saying, is what makes the celebrity worship kind of
Difficult.
difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever they say, no matter if it's problematic or whatever the case may be, you're gonna follow it. But then they could be saying some real fucked up shit, and you're not even like paying attention, not even like processing it, and that's where it gets messy. You know what I'm saying? So even though you might have someone that you follow or idolize or whatever, really listen and pay attention to the words that they say and not just the things that they do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, their actions obviously are important just as their words.
Mm.
But you know what I'm saying? Somebody could be out here like, yeah, I'm for the kids or whatever, but if they're saying some bullshit, then you gotta determine like, alright, is this person like worth idolizing still, or you gotta take a step back? Because I mean, it's about the whole person at the end of the day. It should be. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put a line in the sand somewhere.
Yeah, you would hope their actions line up with the things that they say.
Word.
You would hope so. And then in those situations where it doesn't, then you gotta ask yourself, like, okay, what is my next step moving forward?
Right.
Am I going to just try to separate the two? Am I going to, turn a blind eye to it? Or am I just, gonna cancel that individual altogether?
Yeah.
Like Kanye West, for example.
That's my
The shit he said, unexplained, really no defense for it. And have I canceled Kanye? No. Because I was able to read between the lines and really understand what he was attempting to say. He just said it in a horrible manner.
I was thinking about that the other day.
So I still listen to Kanye music. I still listen to the old joints. Like, at this point, it's like, I just want good music from Kanye West. Do I put him to... And then I'm not the type of person that puts people to a high regard. It's like, oh, I'm standing by this person 100%. Right. Like, whatever they say and do, like, right. I'm part of their... Yeah, like, whatever they say and do. Like, the closest person I would probably do that for is J. Cole. And that's because usually from what I've seen this far, his actions have lined up with the things that he has said as an individual.
Yeah,
but
it's just being authentic.
Yeah, but with Kanye, it's like, all right, I was able to read between the lines. He said some fucked up shit, but if you really listen to it, if you really grasp what he was trying to say, what he was saying was made sense. But I'm not canceling him at this point. Now, if he continues to do other shit that is unexplainable to me, or shit that I really can't, read between the lines about, then it's like, all right, bro, now I'm forced to make a decision.
I was thinking about that the other day. Sometimes I feel like we look for things just to make ourselves feel comfortable with believing somebody. Because I feel like Kanye was on some I said what I said type of shit. I feel like it wasn't no reading in between the lines. Like, I could see how you would. And I was like, oh, well, maybe he meant this, and then maybe it's
with the slavery is a choice thing, he was saying more so what I would hope.
Right, let's say what you would hope. What
I would hope he was trying to say is slavery was a choice from a mental perspective, but what he's failing to realize is, like, he's talking from a position of somebody that didn't have to deal with the conditions those people were living in back then. It's easy to say, like, if you're talking about numbers of the number of slaves that was on the plantation or the number of slaves that's in the house in comparison to the numbers of masters and family members of the masters, yes, there are more slaves that could overthrow the masters at that time. But you got to understand the programming that was being done to them at that time. The last thing you would even think about is trying to break away, because you could either get killed, beat, or beat to the point that you could die, but they keep you alive. So that's probably even worse. So that's what I think he was trying to say, was like, we were in a mental sort of slavery of, we weren't being aware of the conditions around us so that we could possibly overthrow them at that time. But
there were instances where slaves did get together and they escaped, or they did try to fight back, and they did try to do these things. But it's just like nowadays, so many black people out here, we could do so many different things, but then you have the sheep who like, nah. It's always going to be like that.
Yeah, it's always going to be like that.
It's always going to be like that. So it doesn't matter how many slaves there were. If you fighting by yourself, my nigga, I can't do it by myself.
It was just a very hollow statement without any substance to, like, support it. He just said the shit and just kept it moving.
I can willingly admit that I idolize Kanye West, because from the beginning, just listening to his music, and then even, like, when I used to make YouTube videos, I played a character that was him. Like, I played him as a character in different videos. And it was in a comedic way, but I mean, I was just kind of just immersed and just involved with everything that he did. Music, style, fashion, opinions, and all that shit. And then, with him acknowledging the fact that he is grown, more grown than when he was, and lots of opinions change, it's like, even though I might not agree with it, or I could see that he's off, I could acknowledge that fact and kind of separate those things, or keep it together, or whatever the case may be. But, you know what I'm saying? I think for a lot of people that might have their own Kanye West, in the sense of, like, yo, this person, like, I look up to so much because their music and their works and all these things have affected my life so much. There comes to a time where you have to kind of grow up and mature too, and realizing that this person is, at the end of the day, still a person.
Right.
and the mistakes, the good mistakes, or at least the reasonable mistakes that they make, you know, even though you might not agree with it, understand that they are what they are.
Yeah, humans
And-
are flawed.
And you know, everyone has a flaw. There's a difference between a flaw and a mistake. Big difference. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you kind of just discern yourself and realize like, all right, people grow, people change, people aren't going to remain the same. You know what I'm saying? And I have to realize that and kind of not really lower your expectations, but just lower your perceptions of what people have been and what people are going to be.
I think that's another issue too. He's totally a different person, and him being
Absolutely.
associated with the family that he associating with, and the way they like to, you know, pretty much steal the culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Culture
bothersome.
vultures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
of
very
course.
bothersome. So it's like you're already associated with this family. Here you go talking this bullshit, my nigga.
Right.
How do I know?
It's a combination of that and the big issue.
Because he was okay with saying Bush don't like black people, but you got a whole MAGA hat on. Like, I don't, like, me personally, I don't understand that.
Well, that part is the part that. I'm
And he
just
said
like,
Yeah.
he said he feels like the only way he could get
Things done.
is if he appears in that light to him.
Right.
And it's like, so now you're
and at a point I was
like,
about
what?
to. And at a point, even when he said the whole like slavery was a choice thing, like in my brain, a part of me was trying to justify the shit. Like, all right, he probably meant this. Maybe he meant this. All right, let's really think about
Nah,
it.
I
But
think
then
he was. I said
at
what
the
I
end of the day,
said.
it's like, well, look, he said what he said, cool, but why am I playing, you know, Law and Order here? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Trying to figure it out.
I
And
ju-
as the man that he used to be, and as smart and as genius, like we want to say Kanye is, he should have been more aware of what he was saying, how he was saying, who he was saying it to, and then the people he got behind him as his family now.
exactly.
Like, all of that paints a picture. It all paints a picture. So
Oh.
I can't sit here and say I've canceled him. I just don't give a fuck, and I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to read in between the lines. I'm not
Right.
going to do that. I feel like you said what you said, and you meant that.
Yeah.
He said a lot of things other than that. He said a lot of shit, and
He
I'm
did.
like, well, you said what you said.
Oh,
And
well,
he
yeah,
turned around, and you
yeah.
throw out an album, and you throw out more clothes, and you have all your Stedford people
And all that
behind
shit.
you, and it's just like he was talking shit about y'all, and here y'all go. He's literally talking to them. You're a slave too.
Michael Jordan, another. example.
Yeah, like y'all
Everybody
still.
wearing his sneakers.
He was talking
he's
about y'all,
blatantly said that he don't
Right.
fuck with y'all,
and still
and still y'all want to dunk. Good job.
crazy.
Y'all
Crazy.
still trying to make the 23 posts. Dumbasses.
My nigga.
I mean, it's everywhere, man. The shit's everywhere. I mean, celebrity worship is. Whew.
It's a dangerous
Ooh,
thing.
child.
It's a
Ooh,
dangerous
Chile.
thing. So, with that being said, what are some people that we should? Well, don't want to say idolize, but what are who are some
Admire.
people, yeah, that we should be admiring? I think J. Cole is probably.
J. Cole's a good example.
I'm just a fan of Oprah.
Oprah. I mean, these are OGs. I mean, I think.
Like younger, like people younger.
Well, I
now?
Just
mean-
in general,
I mean-
doesn't matter.
I mean, Oprah, yeah. Oprah definitely an example. Like, all these, you know, like Ava DuVernay and all that
Yeah,
stuff. Like, all
Lena
these
Waithe.
people. Well, once again, all these people that we're about to name, they're all, you can see their contributions.
Mhm.
You can
Right.
see how those things ripple. You know what I'm saying? Other people that might be idolized may necessarily, Kim Kardashian, another. What the fuck has she done? What is her job? Tell me her job. What is her fucking job
I
description?
said that for the longest.
Where's her
Like, what is
resume?
her true talent?
Son, she goes to
Doesn't
American
have
Got
any.
Talent, she's just gonna stand there and get 5 stars? Like, fam,
Kris
like, what does she
Jenner is
really
the
do?
real
But yet, people idolize her. They
Even
idolize her
that, like-
aesthetically.
Kris Jenner.
Like, okay, why y'all? I don't understand why people idolize Kris Jenner.
I think I do it in a funny way.
But I feel like even that, but
She's just that mom that's a go-getter.
yeah, it's like
Regardless of how
okay. So
trash
then,
it
what are
is.
we really
A1
supporting?
Vanessa.
Like, it's funny at first, but now that we have all these different, things keep happening within that family, it's like, all right, are y'all
But
gonna?
they're gonna finesse their way out of that too. It's like the way they get into shit and get out of shit. I'm just like, wow.
But you know the wild part about it as well is that it's generational. So for us, it's like, all right, we've seen the Kardashians in their beginnings and grow up through the show. And at this point, we're completely over it. But then you have the newer generation like, oh my God, Kim, ah! You know
Yeah,
what I'm
'cause
saying?
I remember watching them when they had bad makeup and they was all living in that house. I remember I got their first book. Like, I was a stand for them.
Right.
Then after a while, I was like, I don't know.
Right, there was aesthetic about, like,
Yeah, I
we
felt
all
about
can admit there was aesthetic about them back then. Yeah, we get
Because
it.
reality TV was fresh and it
Mad
was
fresh,
new.
man.
Now it's like, all right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like,
Now it's like, I
alright.
see you on social media
Now
and
you
TV
dragging it.
and
Now it's 13
Yeah.
seasons in facts. I mean, fam, canceled.
I think I finally was just done with them when they made Kanye and Kim wedding seem like fucking Princess Diana and was getting married, and I was like, this is crazy. This is fucking nuts.
My only thing is like, okay, if there's people that are always clamoring to Kris Jenner and whatever action she's done, keep that same energy for a black mother.
Or for the real people that should be.
Yeah, that's actually
right
doing
now.
something positive outside of making their family even more rich.
Just fam,
and benefiting from our culture.
If you're putting Michelle Obama and Kim Kardashian on the same level, kill yourself. I mean, I'm not promoting suicide, but figuratively, kill yourself, because
From the
that
people
should not be the way that
the people
that
I see
works.
support Michelle Obama are not the same people I see support Kris Jenner.
That is very true.
I mean, yes,
We're
in an ideal
different kind
world.
of women. That's all. It's different kind of women, different kind of people for everybody. And then it's like, you know, what you want in life and your mindset as well. I feel like your mindset.
I think there's a level of maturity there.
Yeah, it takes a level of maturity as well. That's big. And
again,
then just knowing what actually is good for you.
Right. We know the people who have a positive impact. We know the people who are doing good. We know the people that.
I find Christian to be very fucking funny, honestly.
I wouldn't know enough to have an
entertaining.
opinion.
She's entertaining in that sense.
Yeah,
She's entertaining.
The only thing I've ever seen was when she was on the laptop with the kids, and what's his face before he was Caitlyn.
Oh,
Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce came in, and I think they were on. I think. Oh shit! It was one of those live feeds before Instagram Live became popular. Yeah, probably one of those. They was on one of them live feeds, and I think some dark skinned dude pulled up, and then I think he like pulled his dick out or whatever, and she was very interested, and Bruce came in like, "What are y'all doing?" And she was like, "No, I need to see this." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's the type of family y'all are."
Right,
Okay,
right. That's the mood.
Yeah, and he just walked out with disgust. But yeah, that was like the only thing I ever saw from that. It was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, celebrities are just wild. They're funny people.
Yeah. If anybody's gonna take our advice on it, like, just pick and choose the little things that are actually positive and really make sense, and if it applies to your life, and then move forward from there. Like, we all are whole fans, but I don't here moving no bricks. Like, that's the aspect.
I mean, right. I mean, the picking and choosing. Well, I mean, if you're going by the way you dress, nigga, like, no, stop.
That's Steven.
Is that a compliment?
I'm not regular.
I don't think so.
No, I do not want to be associated with drug dealer activity.
I want no bricks in my corner.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, yeah, the picking and choosing of qualities when it comes to somebody is cool, I guess. But then at the same time, if you have to pick and choose certain things about a person in order to say, like, all right, they're a decent person, then probably shouldn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't agree.
No, I mean, right. I mean, if I'm saying if you take, all right, if certain qualities of a person, like they're, I don't know, they're good at speaking or whatever the case may be, yeah, that's cool. Like, you see certain qualities about a person, and obviously you mimic them or you take stuff from that. But what I'm saying, as a whole person, like, if a person you might know is trash, and you have to, like, kind of sift through their trash shit to say, like, oh, well, they do this, they're positive this way.
Right, I can't half-ass like somebody.
Yeah, you can't half-ass it. That's what I'm saying. In that regard.
And for me personally, I can't. I'm not gonna be like, yo, you're a fucked up person, but I actually like this about you.
Right, I really fuck
because
with
I
you
can't.
because ABC.
I can't
it's
halfway
weird.
do it. I feel like I'm being fake.
Because nobody does that with
really
Oprah.
don't. I really can't fake it. I know people like that in real life. I'd be like, yo, you're cool, but I don't really like you like that, so I'm just not gonna deal with you that way. It won't come up as me moving funny.
Right.
Trying to think if there's any examples of people that fall like that. I mean, it's all circumstantial at the end of the day, because it's all based on what you deem to be fucked up to a certain extent. Like,
let's make an excuse for that, Steven.
Right.
But that's how people analyze shit. Some people may look at Chris Brown like, yo, you raise your hand on a woman once, it's a dub. So it is circumstantial and based on who you are as an individual.
No, of course,
so yeah, he dances his ass off, makes great music, he talks about love from time to time, all this other extra shit, but he raised his hand at a woman. I can't deal with it.
Right. I mean, the people that we look up to, we understand that they are human and that they have flaws and all these things. But at the end of the day, it's about their impact. It really comes down to the impact. It comes down to how they've contributed to our society, how they contributed to the culture, and how they inspire You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Chris Brown has inspired a generation or inspired people in a sense.
Maybe back
But
to
we
the
all know-
dancers.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he inspires dancers.
All right, so
in
he
that aspect.
inspires Step It Up 5,000. Great, cool. But
Ew. Don't put his name on it. That's Omarion.
oh well, sorry. He's a legend. So let me not talk shit about Omarion with the Tims. But,
I was thinking after that they didn't want to say
All right,
it.
that's our show.
I
Thank
just saw
every-
him spinning around on his tippy toe on the tin,
Jesus Christ.
Crush.
doing it for Lil Saint.
Touch.
That is our show.
We're gonna do it for Lil Saint.
Thank you for listening, as always. Shout out to
Gang.
Bianca,
Gang.
as always. Catch the show every Monday on most streaming platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. We on Spotify now. Fucking shit up, as always. SoundCloud as well. You can hit up the website, sipodcast.com. You can email us, ask us at sipodcast.com as well. And I think that's it.
And
That's
I was
all.
gonna shout out in the beginning, thanks to everybody that contributed.
Oh,
to
Oh yeah,
This
we
is what I was trying to
appreciate-
say in the
Oh,
beginning. He's like, yo, what are you talking about? What?
I
Y'all
don't know.
saved
Y'all be-
Pacey's life.
Yeah, I did. So now I just have to make sure he recovers well,
Mm.
which he will.
So thank.
Oh, one last thing. Really quick rant. Really
Oh,
really
here we
quick
go.
rant.
Get it off.
Wait, I just want to say thank you before you go on the whole rant. Thank you
Word.
to everybody, any of the listeners, if you did donate. Thank
Yeah,
you.
word.
I appreciate
Appreciate
it.
Okay, now I get into my shits. Because me and Nieema have dealt with this for numerous years.
No, turn
now.
my mic off.
No,
Oh,
let
nah.
it. Get it off.
Nah.
Get it off.
Me and
You
Nieema
really
have
gonna
been
do this?
best friends for, I would say, we going on almost
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 years.
It's our anniversary. Friendship anniversary.
Friendiversary.
Friendiversary.
It has never been anything more than platonic. Thankfully, any women that I've dealt with have never brought this to never had any issue of me having a female best friend. But on more than one occasion, niggas that try to, what's the word I'm looking for? Pursue Nieema, on more than one occasion, niggas be having issues with her and I being best friends.
That's an episode.
Like, yo, fam,
I don't know if you ever done an episode
fam,
like that.
if you worried about somebody else's dick, then you already lost.
All right, that phrasing was wild, but
I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying.
That's just how it is, yo. Like, if you worried about what the next nigga doing, then you already lost. Because you got to worry about what the fuck you doing. If you worry about what the fuck you doing, you going to get your girl.
That's very true.
End of story. I've never been concerned about no. If I do what I need to do, she going to be mine. So.
No one's coming for. Oh well, I'm not. No, I don't know who's coming for you.
No,
You
it's
sound
just.
like you talking to someone specific.
No,
No,
like every,
'cause-
like every now and then.
Yeah, like she'll
I'll be
tell
like,
me,
Steven.
she'll text me and be like, "Yo, such and such said something, or he feels some type of way."
Not that I care.
Mind you, prior to the show starting, I would not see Nieema outside of her birthday.
Yeah, like mad people be like, Naeem, I only see you for your birthday, my nigga. Like that's it.
Fam, it's
And even with the show starting,
insecurities.
and even with the show starting, we only see each other when we record.
Yeah, because Steven don't like to come outside. He wants to go nowhere with me.
Okay.
He don't never want to go nowhere
That's a
with me.
fact.
So I just find it. I won't even say it's frustrating. I just find it mad dumb when she got to tell me that homeboy be feeling some type of way.
But that's their insecurities. That's their problem. That's not y'all's. I mean, I know you feel away, obviously, but that's
It's just
that's
stupid.
them.
It's just dumb
They-
because she be still liking them.
They have insecurities that they have to deal with.
Because
That-
then
that's got
eventually,
nothing to do with you.
if it does become serious, then I don't want to say I'm part of the relationship, but as her friend, if she
She's
asks
part
me
of the
for
relationship.
advice, I have to assess the situation,
Right.
regardless of who's wrong in this situation, whether she's wrong, whether he's wrong. And if nigga already feels some type of way about me,
It's over.
then it's gonna be a fucking problem.
Like Steven
Word.
don't even like you no more. So
Like
like,
it's gonna be a
always
problem.
gonna be
Nobody
your
needs
fault.
that shit.
Because he gonna start doing dumb shit. Then the dumb shit's gonna affect her. Then she gotta come to me about the dumb shit. Then now I gotta be sensible about the shit. It's like, yo, fam, I'm like, yo, I didn't even know you existed 2 weeks
No,
ago.
then I
Like,
think
And
this
you
is,
probably won't exist in the next
I think
2
this is
weeks.
a topic. We should really. I don't know if we really talked about the actual concept of like male and women friendships, like genuine friendships, and how that affects not only the people around them, but like relationships and like family and all that shit. Because
We're gonna break that down.
we should break it down.
oh, we could bring the nigga in here so I could tell him just to fuck up. Just to fuck up. Like,
All right. You take that off camera. You take that
I'm
off the
like,
mic.
move my mic.
But again, that's our show. This is Sophisticated Ignorance.
Okay.
That was the ignorance part. And
you
we'll
go.
see y'all next week.
All right.
Bye.
Later.
We are out here. Fuck y'all talking about. Sophisticated ignorance. Are y'all fucking crazy?
That's a fact. Talk
Are y'all
that shit.
crazy? Yo, y'all getting me tight. Like, I be out here
This is
trying
about
to be
to be our
humble.
drop. This is about
Let's
to be our
not
new
get
drop.
fucking crazy. Sophisticated ignorance. All right?